Welcome back everybody. Today's video is about the steam boiler again. It's been 5 years since I've worked on this thing. I sort of just saved up some scrap money over those years. I've made some alterations to the steam rocket stove steam boiler. These were the old tubes, water tubes. They went inside those ones, which were the steam collecting tubes. And it was joined here and down there, but that was in the center of that. The problem with this one, it made steam like that sat down there, that inner tube went over the top of that, and then the outer tube with the lid, and the water feed mechanism doesn't sort of work in a vertical position with these pipes. Because of the elbows, the water sits down here and then it never fills up properly and you don't get the right level. So I thought there was two options I had. That could have worked probably laying down, and means I had to cut and modify all of that, which I sort of didn't want to do. So I saved my pennies and bought 18 meters of annealed copper tubing. That will be replacing those tubings, which will hold the water. So I coiled them up here. I sort of stuffed that one up a bit, but it's okay. I had to braze the ends in so it was airtight. I filled up the old holes roughly. These are just fire extinguishers. The body of it was a fire extinguisher, a CO2 heavy walled metal fire extinguisher for that part, the fire bit. This goes on the top like so. So it's got 18 meters of water tubing. So this is like the preheated water. So that's the inlet will come through here. That gets joined to the fire tubes. I may have to put something at the bottom there to spread the fire so it goes up the sides. I'm not sure about that yet. I'm using these compression couplings to join certain parts of the tubing. Hopefully they hold up. I modified the gas part. That will go around the outside of this one, similar to that. And all so this is the water out to steam area, so we should start making steam through here. This part here is just a standard fitting. Spark plug actually fits down the center of there after drilling it out to the right tapping size. That will be the water control level. So now it's so the water level will be all the way up to here. That will attach around into there, onto that fitting down there, somewhere around, it'll probably be a bit down here, about there. So the water level will be up to here, spark plug into there, and that should work, maybe, hopefully that works. And for the outer tubing, it was originally cut through here and now the lid section was up here. But for this design I need to have these sealed so the airflow goes in, up, without any air holes outside. And it comes up to the top part of this section, and then this is covered and goes back down to the chimney and out. So this is the steam out port. I kept the original size because all my flanges and valves are this size. I just braze welded this tube. I cut it down and welded it all up. Hopefully it doesn't leak. I had to make some modifications because I was originally going to use one of those couplings here, but the distance is not enough with all this piping. So I ended up welding this piece on here to join it to the steam out pipe, which is this one coming up of the main ones. I think those hold a lot more water than that will. There's like 9 meters there, but that's 20 mil. There's 18 there, minus about a foot or so of water piping. So that's the preheating water. Should be sort of warmish going in, maybe. Down at the bottom there's the water inlet one. That's also been welded, braze welded through here. I put a little 20 mil flange thing on there so I can attach my existing water pump and stuff from the other one. So I'm going to assemble this and test it. Bit of luck, it works. Okay, I got it all together. Everything sort of fitted okay. Bit of a twist and turn here and there. This one's going to be siliconed in because I don't have much room to weld and I don't want to wreck the thread for the spark plug down in there. And it would have been hard to tighten those up in there like that. So I pre-tightened them before I put it in. Well, I still have to tighten that one. And that's all done. So we got the water tubes and the steam tube on the outside. And there's not much room left inside there. The hardest one was that join down there. But a bit of banging and twisting and I got it in the end. Hopefully they don't leak. They should expand all at around about the same rate. So that will be the entrance, water level controller and steam out. Okay, I'm all ready for a test. I've sealed the bottom of the drum with some sand. I'll do the same with this piece, which sits in that flange. So we got the water pipes down there. Steam on the outside. So water pipe comes around to here to the water sensor. I've just sealed that because it doesn't have to be pressure seal or anything, and it's just to stop the air from going in through here and disturbing the rocket stove setup. That was just a standard fitting I mean. We've I tapped that spark plug size down in the center of that there, just fitted perfectly using my old existing stuff from the last test. And that I have the wind generator sort of crudely welded to there. Don't know if it's going to work because there's a bit of torque to push that. Takes a bit of force. Soldered up some wires. Have a 3-phase bridge rectifier. Have the water pump controller. Hopefully it still works. It's connected to the battery. Got the water tub there. I think I'm all set. I reckon we can turn this on and see if it stops when it reaches the spark plug. Okay, we're pumping, I think. 12-volt pump. Oh yeah, I hear water. I have the valve open. Down in there. Got a blow-off valve rated at 50 psi. Uh-oh. Ah, there's a leak. Wonder where that's leaking. I think it's full. There's a drip down there. Oh dear, right at the bottom too. Whoa, that's the pump working when the water drips out. So it does work like that when it's cold. Now we're going to fill up with water. Burger. I reckon it's leaking out of that one down there. Oh, that's not going to be good, is it? Okay, I'll check that leak. Ah, but I'm all set up. Shit. and run it with that leak. I don't think I can reach down in there. Have to come from the bottom. I'll think about it. Okay, just started the fire, got a jiffy lighter and some newspaper and some pine wood. I haven't pumped extra water through yet. I didn't worry about fixing the leak. Alright, I'll get back once this is a bit warm and then we'll finish filling up the tube and see what happens. Gonna have to silicone around there, the sand just drains through, so I won't do that until I fix that water leak. Just gonna fill up the tank a bit. Alright, didn't take much. Well, that works. That's how much of the leak it is. I'll turn it off for a bit. Just preheat, so the tubes have got a bit of water in it, they're not going to burn dry. I'll get back. I think the leak stopped because I turned it on. Well, something stopped. Oh, we got water coming out. I can't hear it come on. It's boiling already. I'll just wait and see then. Uh-oh, maybe not. See what happens. Okay, I heard the water pump thing come on. We're at 130 up there already, but only 77 down low. It should be pretty warm here. What, 60? We have some sort of steam coming out, but no pressure yet. I think what happens is it's got to dry out, so the water level drops way before here, out here somewhere. There it goes. But gotta get hotter yet. Alright, we'll get back to warm it. I think I have to fix that water leak because that's probably problematic. Probably losing a lot of steam. I think I have a hole there somewhere. I do have it connected to a bridge rectifier though. Burns pretty clean for pine wood. I also got it connected to a load. that water leak's not helping down there. No, it looks like it's coming out of there. Oh, spark plug's blowing us down there. I don't know if that thread is good enough to hold that. Well, at least this works. The water pump. It's only used, I think it was up here, but this is leaking. Got a hole in it somehow since 5 years ago. It's just been sitting in the shed. Maybe a mini Tesla turbine will work. I think I might have one, but it's only glued with hot glue, so it will probably melt apart. It blew the blow-off valve a couple of minutes ago. We'll sit here and see if it does. So it exceeds 50 once it starts pumping the water. Here it goes probably. Not this one. Okay, wrapping it up for the day. I'll let that wood dry out. Got to stem that leak. So I'm not sure if it's coming from here or inside on the opposite end of that. If you look, it's probably coming from under there. Phone will overheat too much. So let's see if it burns off some steam. Still got wood. There it goes. Fifteen psi, 10 psi. The other one actually had more steam the other way, but it wouldn't self-feed. And that needs some torque to turn. Well, at least the spark plug water level indicator works. That's good. I did try to hook up my little Tesla turbine here, but well, it melted all of me hot glue gun glue. It's a different design, held from the outside and opened in the center. One last burst of steam maybe before we go. Or maybe not. How much wood's left? We got a bit. Oh, looks like it's shutting itself down. No fumes came out though, like you couldn't see them, but it burns wood clean. Functioning of the rocket stove works okay. Just gotta fix that water leak. Alright, there you have it. Till next time. Okay, there's like an inch of water down in there. So it's leaking a bit down there. I think it's coming out of there. Probably both ends, out of that join and out of that join. So we had flame everywhere, probably, except for here and here, because it's all blackened. And the bottom tube's pretty clean, so it shoots out there pretty high up. There's a bit of scoring down on this part, down the bottom. It's cold. Probably need a lot more of those tubings, because the water level, I'd say, would have to be around about here before that would start kicking in. Then time that fills up. Pancake coils probably work. Very sooty looking. Not too bad. I'll take these off. Alright, just finished getting rid of that old setup. I put that coil, the preheat coil, straight through the side wall. I extended it with an elbow, and I have this to take the water pipe and connect into there now. So, and I have another one for the steam out. I had to extend it. I cut that other piece off, it was leaking anyway, and that will be the new connection for everything there. So hopefully fixing that water leak may have fixed it. Looks like the water pump thing doesn't come on properly, because see how it's dropping down? If I override the water, do a bit, it's around 20 psi going up. About 30, I reckon, 30 psi. Dropping on PSI, it's down to about 15. Oh, too much water now probably. I gotta stoke the fire. Okay, I've overridden the water pump and it's running out of flow with a bypass. So it's pumping whatever amount in there. It's at 10 psi now. It's leaking there. I think most of the line may have water in it. Just under 10 psi. I'll try adjusting this. Increasing in psi now. It's at 10, going above. Dropping now. Oh, might be too much water. Too much water. Alright, I'll let it warm up a bit more and get some of that out. Filled it. Just overfilled it. Starting to drain out now. Feel like it's dripping a bit. And I'm smoking. Maybe there's a leak. First time it's smoked. There could be those union joints doing the same as that one. I tighten that one up a bit then. Probably have to weld all the joints in there, which would be tricky. Not a lot of space. Probably doable. We'll give it an hour. I've been running it for an hour. I think it's starting to steam. It's not ready yet. The water thing just turned on by itself, so it's dry. That's the first time I've heard it for a while. Oh. Now it's staying on all the time. Water's going to come out in a minute. Maybe the spark plug thing doesn't work well. Might disconnect it actually. Or does it need a bit more going in? Oh yeah. Got the full water going into it now. It was dry. It's up near 50, 40 something PSI, blows off at 50. Probably going to blow off in a minute. Now I'll open up the water. The water's turned off. I'll override it. It's heated up again. Must have been a blockage when I loaded too much fuel. I have no idea how much water. Oh, too much water. Look at the PSI. About 15 PSI. Okay, that only took a half hour to get going again. I might have saturated the fire with too much fuel and blocked the hole a bit. Probably still saturated by the sounds of it. I've had it up higher, so I'll let it burn away a bit. And plus the gas tube, the gas steam tube will be full of water because they're in the vertical. They're going to take a while to dry out. So I'd imagine there's water bubbling up. The steam's bubbling up through the water in the vertical steam pipe. I'll get back in a half hour. 25 psi. So you can do it manually, but you have to stoke that fire and pump a little bit of water every now and then. So I've been burning and running 5 psi for the last hour. You can get it to 20 if you time the water and not pump too much. But every time you do that, you have to have someone stoking the fire. And then time for some water. It's a bit laborious. More water. It's pretty loud. PSI. The steam pipes are still probably filled up with water. Increasing. So 2 hours of run time really, or probably a little bit more. Gonna have to add some water. And it seems to start working well when it's 190. So we're 200 now, and it's doing quite well. I have to keep stoking that fire, like not enough air. And some water. So I don't think the pipes are long enough to have the water thing dry out enough to trigger, and then it overfills. Only needs bursts of water. Oh, we're going to blow off in a minute. Maybe. Alright, it's the day after. That one down there, the connection, was leaking again, so it's filled up with water. That was near the end of the 2 hours, and it was cooling the fire down, dripping the water down into there. So it didn't actually go too bad. I had it running 10 psi for at least 2 hours, pumping the water manually. So to make it actually work good, either we'll have to pancake coil 6mm wire in copper pipe or stainless pipe in here. It need to be pancake coils. 6mm might work, but we won't get the volume. Or the other thing is, you'd need like 48 meters of the copper 1/2 inch pipe, using this diameter as the inner tube, and then a hot water system maybe on the outside, and a larger firebox. And then I'm pretty sure this would actually be dry enough up here for dry steam to trigger it, having so much coiled pipe. Oh, there's some ash blowing out of there. So firebox needs to be bigger, and that needs to be the inner tube, so we can get the copper coils at a decent, because you can't really, I ain't got anything to coil that into a pancake coil. That's the best I could do. So for that amount of coils down there, I think it's actually only 12 meters, was doing pretty good to get 15 to, it did go up to 20 psi, but it was more stable at 10 for 2 hours. It did push this. I just have the nozzle here, which is a MIG welder nozzle. I drilled a hole in it, maybe it's too big or something. I can change it because you can screw it in. This has got a bit of weight in it, and it had enough force to start it by itself as well. I just have to connect the coils and some magnets here. I got them, but I need to fix the coils up because I casted it and it sort of didn't work ages ago. I'll show you that. So that's it there. It's sort of okay, but it broke apart, and one of the, oh yeah, this end here broke off. It's got no strength to it. So I'm gonna have to do something with that, because the spacing here is only enough to fit into the magnet thing I made up. That thing there. So one end's of the tails and one end's of the other ends of the coils. So I think you bridge these three, or these three, whatever ones it was. So I'm thinking I might be able to smash all this off and put these in some Perspex plastic. I might be able to cut it out and neat enough to glue them in there, because there's only, I think it's like 40 mil I got to play with. So I can't mount this end now because it's snapped off. It did have like little round hole locations here on the ends. Yeah, that was my first bit of resin using. I don't think I put enough hardener in it, and it took like forever to dry, and now it's all crazy cracked. It's probably the wrong fiberglass too for that. I had fiberglass stuff over it, but it's sort of, yeah. Built that like 5 years ago too. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned. I'll get this all set up and do another run with this, and I'll fix that water leak, because it performed better without the leaks. The other time, like the last time, it didn't really do too well with it leaking. So fixing that other leak might improve it a bit better. It's just a shame there's not enough copper pipe there to dry the steam out enough to trigger the water pump properly. I think it drops its level so much before it triggers that when you fill it up, it's getting cold. That's what's going on with the water sensor thing. Alright, thanks for watching, and it's possible to make one and have it automated and run a generator.